The words hit me like ice water. I had just stepped into the hallway when my stepson, Logan, said to my wife in a low, excited voice, "Yes. I already cut the brakes. See you at the funeral tomorrow." I froze so hard I could not even breathe right. My hand was still on the doorframe. My shoes were still on. My heart started pounding so loudly I thought they would hear it. My wife, Mariah, stood near the kitchen table with her phone in her hand. Her face was turned away, but I could tell she was listening like this was normal. Like this was a plan she understood. Logan was sitting on the couch. He was smiling. Smiling, like a kid who had finished a school project and was proud. A funeral tomorrow. My funeral. I wanted to shout. I wanted to run in and grab the phone and ask, "What did you just say?" I wanted to demand answers right now. But something in my body told me that if I moved fast, I might not leave the house at all. My instincts did not say, "Fight." They said, "Leave. Stay alive. Get proof." So I did the strangest thing I have ever done. I stepped backward. Quiet. Slow. I slipped back out the front door the same way I came in. I pulled it shut without a sound. My hands shook so badly I had to hold my keys with two hands. Outside, the air felt sharp and cold. The sun was still up, but everything looked wrong, like the world had tilted. Our driveway sat in front of me, and my car was parked there, looking normal. Just a car. But I now knew it was not safe. I walked down the street like I was taking out trash or going to check the mail. I kept moving until I was far enough away that no one could see me through the windows. Then I pulled out my phone and called a tow truck. When the dispatcher answered, I forced my voice to sound calm. "I need a tow. Right away. And I need it taken to a different address." "Is the car broken?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "And I cannot drive it. Please hurry." My fingers felt numb. My mouth tasted like metal. I looked back at the house and tried to understand what I had just heard. Logan was my stepson. I had known him since he was 12. He was now 19. He was tall, loud, and stubborn, but I had never believed he could be dangerous. Not like this. And Mariah, my wife, the person I trusted most. The person I came home to every day. Why would she listen to that and stay quiet? A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. It was a text from the tow company, "Driver on the way." 10 minutes. I did not go back into the house. I stood near the corner and watched from a distance. When the tow truck arrived, the driver walked up to the front door to knock, like drivers do. My stomach clenched. If Mariah came out, she might ask questions. So I stepped out from behind a tree and walked up fast, but I smiled like everything was fine. "Hey," I said to the driver. "That's my car," I called. "We'll do this quick." He looked at his screen. "Different address, right?" "Yes," I said. "I'll pay now." He hooked the car up. The chain clanked. The car lifted. My legs felt weak, but I stayed standing. I kept my eyes on the house, waiting for the door to open. It did not. Maybe they were still talking. Maybe they thought I was somewhere else. Maybe they were sure I would drive that car in the morning and never come back. When the car was secured, I gave the driver an address I knew by heart. The address belonged to Logan's father, Grant, Mariah's ex-husband. The driver raised an eyebrow. "You want it delivered there?" "Yes," I said. "And I want him to know it is a gift from his son." The driver hesitated, then nodded. "Money talks." He handed me a receipt. I took a photo of it, and I took a photo of my car on the tow truck, too. Proof. Time stamps. Details. As the tow truck pulled away, my hands finally started shaking so hard I had to sit on the curb. I pressed my palm over my mouth to keep myself quiet. I did not want to scream. Not yet. Not until I knew what this was. I looked at my phone and opened my contacts. I hovered over Mariah's name, then stopped. If I called her, she would know I heard. If she was part of this, she would warn Logan. So I called someone else. I called Grant. He answered on the second ring. "Hello." My voice came out low and tight. "Grant, it's me. Listen carefully. A tow truck is bringing you a car right now. It used to be mine. It might not be safe. Do not drive it. Do you understand?" There was a pause. "What are you talking about?" "I can't explain everything on the phone," I said. "But your son said something today that scared me. I need you to take this seriously." Grant's tone changed. It dropped into something hard. "What did Logan say?" My throat felt like it was closing. I forced the words out. He said he cut the brakes. He said, "See you at the funeral tomorrow." The line went silent. Then Grant whispered, "Where are you?" "Not at home," I said. "I'm nearby. I'm safe for now." Grant swallowed. I could hear it. "I'm calling Logan." "No," I said quickly. "Don't. Not yet. If he knows we're onto him, he'll destroy evidence. Please. Just wait for the tow truck. Look at the car. Call the police if you see anything." Grant's breathing got louder. If this is true, someone is going to answer for it. I stared at the house in the distance. My own house. The place I thought was safe. And then my phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number popped up, and my blood turned cold as I read it. "Where are you? How did they know I was gone, and what would they do when they found me?" The text sat on my screen like a threat that could grow teeth. "Where are you?" I did not answer. I turned off my phone's location. I stepped farther down the street and sat on a bench behind a small row of bushes. From there, I could still see my house, but no one could see me easily. I tried to think like someone who wanted to survive. First, I needed to understand who had sent that message. It could be Logan. It could be Mariah. It could even be someone else, the person Logan had been talking to on the phone. He had said, yes, like he was agreeing with a plan. I opened the message details. No name. Just a number I did not recognize. My mind raced. Then I remembered something simple and important. If Logan truly cut the brakes, someone had to pay for it. Cutting brakes is not a prank. It is not, kids being kids. It is an attempt to kill someone. It is a crime. But I needed proof. Not just my memory. Not just my fear. I stood up and walked to a nearby gas station. It had bright lights, cameras, and people. I bought a bottle of water with shaking hands and sat near the window. My eyes stayed on my phone. Grant called me 10 minutes later. His voice was rough. "The tow truck just arrived. The driver told me you said it was a gift from Logan." "Did you look at the car?" I asked. "I did," he said. "I haven't touched anything yet. But I can see something under the front. Something doesn't look right. I'm calling the police." My lungs let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. "Good," I said. "Tell them not to move it. Tell them to treat it like evidence." Grant went quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Why would he do this? Why would your wife be on the phone?" "I don't know yet," I said. "But I will find out." When we ended the call, I stared at the water bottle in my hand and tried to calm down. The truth was scary, but it was also clear now. Someone inside my home wanted me gone. I thought about Logan. When I married Mariah, I promised I would try to be steady and kind, even when parenting was hard. Logan had never liked rules. He liked money, fast friends, and attention. If you told him no, he treated it like an insult. But I also thought about Mariah. She had been warm when we met. She laughed easily. She told me she wanted peace after a messy divorce. I believed her. Now, I wondered if I had been looking at a mask. I decided I needed to get inside the house again, but not in a way that would put me in danger. I needed something from inside. Something that could show what was happening. And then I remembered our smart doorbell camera. It recorded motion. It recorded sound near the front door. And it saved clips in an app that only I and Mariah could access. If Mariah had not changed the password, I might still be able to see what happened after I left. I opened the app with trembling fingers. At first, the screen loaded slowly. My heart beat hard in my ears. Then the camera feed appeared. The porch was empty. The driveway was empty, too. My car was gone. I clicked the events list. A clip from 10 minutes ago appeared. I tapped it. The video showed the tow truck arriving. The driver walked toward the door. Before he knocked, Mariah opened the door fast, like she had been watching. I leaned closer to the screen. Mariah spoke with tight anger. The audio was not perfect, but I could hear enough. "That's his car," the driver said. "He called for a tow." Mariah's voice sharpened. "He called. He didn't tell me anything." Then Logan appeared behind her, and the moment I saw his face, my stomach turned. He looked nervous. Not guilty. Not sad. Nervous like someone whose plan was slipping. Logan whispered, "Mom, don't say too much." Mariah snapped, "Where is he?" The driver shrugged. "He paid me. He said take it to a different address." Mariah's eyes narrowed. "What address?" The driver hesitated, then said it. "Grant's address." Mariah's face went pale. Logan's mouth opened slightly, like he could not believe it. Logan whispered, "No." Mariah grabbed her phone and walked back inside, and that was when the clip ended. So the unknown number texting me, "Where are you?" was likely Mariah. She must have called from another phone or another number. Maybe Logan's phone. Maybe someone else's. Now I knew something else. They were not confused. They were alarmed because my car was gone. Their plan depended on me driving. A new clip appeared from a minute later. I tapped it. The camera did not show the inside of the house, but the audio picked up sound when the door opened again. Logan stepped onto the porch and made a call. His voice was clear. He didn't drive it, Logan said. He towed it. He towed it to Dad. There was a pause, then Logan spoke again, quieter. "Yes, I'm sure. Mom heard the address." Another pause. Logan's voice turned sharp. "No, I'm not stupid. I cut the brake line like you said. He should have been gone by now." My skin went cold. "Like you said. Someone else was guiding him." Logan kept talking. "What do we do now?" He's not answering. Mom is panicking. He listened, then he said, "Okay. Okay. I'll check his accounts tonight. If he tries anything, we move fast." I stared at the screen. Check my accounts. Move fast. This was not just anger. It was organized. It was planned. I took a screen recording of the clip. I saved it. I backed it up to cloud storage. Then I took another deep breath and made my next move. I called the police. When the officer answered, I kept my words simple. "I believe someone sabotaged my car to hurt me. I overheard a confession. The vehicle is now at a different location with another person, and he is calling you. I also have a doorbell recording that may contain evidence." The officer's voice changed. "Stay where you are. Do not go home. An officer will meet you." I looked out the gas station window. The streetlights were coming on. People walked by like nothing was happening. And then, through the glass, I saw something that made my blood run colder than before. Logan's car rolled slowly into the gas station parking lot. He was looking for me. I sank lower in my seat, like I could disappear into the bench. Logan's car stopped near the pumps. He did not get out right away. He sat still, staring around the lot. His head moved left, then right. He was scanning faces, looking for me. I kept my eyes down and held my phone close. My hands were sweaty. My heart felt like it was trying to jump out of my chest. I told myself one thing, again and again. Do not panic. Panic makes noise. Noise gets you caught. I watched Logan through the corner of my vision. After a few seconds, he stepped out of the car. He wore a hoodie, even though the air was not that cold. His shoulders were tight. His jaw looked clenched. He walked toward the store entrance. The worst part was how normal he tried to look. Like he was just getting snacks. Like he was not hunting someone. I turned my face slightly toward the aisle of shelves inside the gas station store. I stood slowly and moved deeper inside, staying behind the taller shelves. I walked past chips, candy, and drinks. My feet felt heavy, but I made myself move smoothly, not fast. I heard the bell above the door ring. Logan entered. I froze behind a shelf of cereal boxes. I could see his shoes through a small gap near the bottom. He walked closer, then stopped. I heard his voice. "Hey," he said to the cashier. "Have you seen a man come in here? Around 40. Medium height. He might look nervous." The cashier sounded confused. "Lots of people come in here." Logan forced a laugh that did not sound real. "Yeah, okay. Just asking." I held my breath. Logan's shoes moved. 1 step. 2 steps. He came closer. He was walking along the aisle, slowly, like he was checking. I turned my body sideways, pressed against the shelf, and made myself very still. I could smell the plastic packaging. I could hear my own heartbeat. Then Logan stopped right at the end of my aisle. For a second, I thought he saw me. But he didn't. His phone buzzed, and he looked down. He stepped away again. I slipped out the other side of the shelf and moved toward the back door marked, "Employees Only." I did not know if it was locked, but I had to try. I reached it and pushed gently. It opened. Behind it was a small storage area with boxes stacked high. A narrow hallway led to a back exit. I walked quietly down the hallway and pushed the back door. It opened into an alley behind the gas station. I stepped outside and kept moving, fast but controlled. My chest burned. I stayed close to the building and headed toward a busier street where there would be more people and cameras. My phone rang. It was the officer. I answered in a whisper. He's here. Logan is here. He just came into the gas station. I'm behind the building now. The officer's voice was firm. Stay visible to cameras. Go toward a public area. Do not confront him. A patrol unit is 2 minutes away. 2 minutes can feel like 2 hours when you are afraid. I turned the corner onto the main street. Cars passed. A group of people stood near a small food stand. I walked toward them and stopped near the edge, pretending I was checking my phone like everyone else. Then I saw Logan again. He came out the front of the gas station store, looking annoyed. He stepped into his car and started driving slowly, scanning the street. He did not see me at first. Then his eyes shifted, and I felt it in my bones. He saw me. His car turned sharply and rolled toward the curb. Logan lowered his window. His face was tight, his eyes wide and angry. Why aren't you answering your phone? He demanded. I forced my voice to stay calm. I'm busy. He glanced around. Mom is looking for you. Come home. Not right now, I said. Logan's smile appeared, but it was not a real smile. It was the kind that tries to look friendly while hiding something sharp. You're acting weird. I met his eyes. I heard you. His face flickered, just for a second. Then he recovered. Heard what? The part about the brakes, I said, keeping my voice low so strangers wouldn't hear every word. Logan's eyes widened. His hands tightened on the steering wheel. He leaned closer. You're lying. I'm not, I said. And the car is not here anymore. His mouth opened slightly. Then it shut. He stared at me like I had just pulled the ground out from under him. What did you do? He whispered. I didn't answer. I didn't want him to know how much I had already done. The less he knew, the safer I was. Logan's voice turned rough. Get in. We need to talk. No, I said. His eyes narrowed. You think you're smarter than me. At that exact moment, I heard a siren. A police car turned onto the street and slowed near us. Logan's head snapped toward it. His face changed. Panic flashed across it like a sudden shadow. He hit the gas. His car surged forward and sped away, tires squealing slightly as he cut into traffic. The police car kept moving, slowing near me. An officer stepped out, eyes scanning, hand near his radio. Are you the caller? He asked. Yes, I said, my voice shaking now that help was here. That was him. That was Logan. The officer nodded. Another unit is with your car right now, at the address you gave. We also spoke with a man named Grant. He told us what he saw. I swallowed. I have recordings. Good, the officer said. We need you to come with us and give a statement. I climbed into the back of the police car, feeling both safer and more terrified at the same time. Because once the police were involved, the truth would come out. And when the truth comes out, people who were hiding secrets often do something desperate. As we drove, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a message from Mariah. It wasn't, where are you? It was worse. I know you heard. Please come home. We can explain. Just come alone. And before I could even process that, another message arrived from the unknown number. If you go to the police, you will regret it. My hands went cold. The officer looked at me. You okay? I stared at the screen and whispered, it's bigger than I thought. At the station, everything felt too bright and too quiet, like the world was holding its breath. An officer led me to a small room with a table and 2 chairs. He asked me to explain what happened from the beginning. I told him the truth in simple steps. I told him what I heard. I told him how I left. I told him about the tow truck and Grant. Then I showed him the doorbell recordings. The officer watched the clips without blinking. When Logan said, I cut the brake line like you said, the officer paused the video and leaned back. Like you said, he repeated softly. So there's another person involved. Yes, I said. And he mentioned checking my accounts. The officer nodded. We'll treat this as attempted homicide and fraud until we understand the full picture. Those words hit hard, even though I already knew the danger. Hearing it from law enforcement made it real in a new way. They took my phone and copied the evidence. They asked me to sign statements. They asked if I had life insurance. They asked if anyone had access to my bank accounts. I answered carefully. My wife knows some of my information. We share bills, but my main accounts are in my name. The officer looked at me. Do you have any reason to believe your wife is involved? I swallowed. She was on the phone with him. She didn't stop him. Then she texted me to come home alone. The officer's expression tightened. We're going to speak with her. While they worked, I sat in a waiting area with a cup of water that I barely touched. My thoughts kept circling one question. Why? Why would my own family do this? I needed a clear answer, and I needed it soon, because confusion can be dangerous. Confusion makes you hesitate. Hesitation is how people get hurt. After a while, Grant arrived at the station. His face looked older than it had the last time I saw him. His hands were clenched. He sat beside me and spoke low. The police showed me the brake line. It's cut clean. Not worn. Cut. I nodded. It wasn't an accident. Grant stared ahead. Logan tried to kill you. Hearing it said so plainly made my stomach twist. Grant rubbed his forehead like he was trying to wake up from a nightmare. Then he looked at me. Why would Mariah be part of it? I shook my head. I don't know. But there's something else. Logan said he would check my accounts. Grant's eyes narrowed. Your money. That word hung in the air. Money changes people. It can make good people greedy, and it can give bad people a reason to act. Grant leaned closer. I need to tell you something. Mariah called me 2 weeks ago. I turned to him. She did. He nodded slowly. She asked about Logan. She asked if he was still in trouble. I didn't understand what she meant. He's been in trouble before, but nothing like this. In trouble how? I asked. Grant exhaled. Logan owes money. He's been gambling. Sports bets. Online stuff. He's been chasing quick wins. He lost a lot. More than I knew. My mouth felt dry. How much? Grant's voice was heavy. Enough that he asked me for $20,000. I said no. He got angry. He said I didn't care about him. My mind snapped pieces together. Gambling debts. Anger. A plan. My accounts. And then another thought came, darker and sharper. Life insurance. The officer returned and asked me to come back into the interview room. He placed a folder on the table. We ran a quick check, he said. There is a recent attempt to change your life insurance beneficiary. My throat tightened. Change it to who? The officer looked at me directly. To your wife. I stared at him. It wasn't already her. It was previously split between your wife and your sister, the officer said. A new form was submitted last week. The signature is being reviewed. Do you remember signing anything? My chest felt tight. No. Grant's face went hard. Forgery. The officer nodded. Possibly. There's also a new loan inquiry in your name, started 2 days ago. I felt dizzy. A loan. A beneficiary change. A cut break line. This was not one bad choice. This was a system. A plan. The officer continued, we are attempting to locate Logan now. We will also be speaking with your wife. For your safety, we recommend you do not return home tonight. I nodded, but my mind was already racing again. If Mariah had tried to change the insurance, she would know the police were closing in. And if Logan had debts, the people he owed might be pressuring him. Danger does not always come from one person. Sometimes it comes from panic spreading through a group. Then my phone, now returned to me, buzzed again. A voicemail notification. The officer let me play it on speaker. Mariah's voice came through, shaky and fast. Please, please don't do this. Logan made a mistake. We can fix it. Just come home. Just talk to me. No police. Grant's eyes narrowed. That's not a wife asking for safety. That's a person begging to keep secrets. Before I could respond, another call came in. Unknown number. The officer nodded at me to answer, but he mouthed, put it on speaker. I did. A man's voice came through, low and angry. You moved the car. That was not smart. My skin prickled. Who is this? The man chuckled without humor. Tell the police to stop. Or you'll get more than a funeral. The officer grabbed the phone and spoke into it. This is law enforcement. Identify yourself. The line went dead. I stared at the phone, heart hammering. Now I knew for sure. This was not only family betrayal. There was an outside person pulling strings, and they were watching. And somewhere out there, Logan was running, Mariah was cornered, and a stranger was threatening me. What would they do next, now that their first plan had failed? That night, the police placed me in a safe location, not my home. I will not describe exactly where, because safety matters, but I was protected. An officer stayed nearby. I could finally breathe a little, but sleep did not come easily. Early the next morning, the officer returned with updates. His face was serious, but there was something else in it, too. Progress. We found Logan, he said. My stomach tightened. Where? He tried to withdraw money using your information, the officer explained. He didn't get far. The bank flagged it. He panicked and ran. But we tracked him. I felt a strange mix of emotions. Relief, anger, sadness, and something like grief. Logan was not a little child. He was old enough to know exactly what cutting brakes meant. Is he hurt? I asked, then realized how strange that question was. No, the officer said. He was arrested without incident. I let out a long breath. Then I asked the harder question. What about my wife? The officer nodded. We spoke with her. She denied everything at first. But when we showed her the recordings and the insurance paperwork, she changed her story. He opened a folder and slid out copies of documents. He pointed to one line. The beneficiary change form was submitted from your home computer, he said. And the signature does not match your known samples. We also found a draft message in her email about what to do after the accident. My hands shook as I looked at the papers. It is one thing to feel betrayed. It is another thing to hold it in your hands. I swallowed. Why would she do it? The officer spoke plainly. Money and fear. He explained it step by step, so there was no guessing. Logan had been gambling online for months. He lost a lot. Then he borrowed money from dangerous people. These were not friends. They were people who wanted quick repayment, and they used threats. Logan could not pay. He was desperate. Logan went to Mariah and told her everything. He told her he was scared. He told her these people might hurt him if he didn't pay. Mariah panicked. Instead of calling police or getting help, she chose secrecy. She chose the worst kind of silence. Logan then told Mariah about my life insurance and my savings. He told her that if I died in an accident, the money would solve everything. He also believed he could take over my accounts afterward and pretend it was legal. Mariah did not start the plan, but she did not stop it. That is the truth. She supported it by staying quiet, by letting Logan make the plan, and by trying to change the insurance so she would control the money. When the officer finished explaining, I felt numb. I had loved Mariah. I had helped raise Logan. I had trusted both of them. And they had decided my life was a price they could pay to solve their fear. Grant arrived later that day. He looked like a man carrying a heavy stone in his chest. He sat across from me and spoke. Slowly. I failed him, he said. No, I replied. He made choices. Grant nodded, but his eyes were wet. He's my son. But he tried to kill a man who treated him better than he deserved. We learned more as the investigation continued. The unknown man on the phone was one of the people Logan owed. The police traced the number through records connected to the gambling debts. That person was later questioned, and evidence showed he had pressured Logan, telling him to find a way to get money quickly. The man did not physically cut the brakes, but he pushed the situation toward violence. That pressure became part of the case. Mariah was charged for her role in the fraud and the attempted insurance change. She also faced charges for helping cover up what Logan did. Logan faced serious charges for sabotaging the car, and for trying to steal my money. Some people hear stories like this and say, I would have known. But the truth is, betrayal often looks like normal life until it suddenly doesn't. It looks like dinner on the table. A smile in the hallway. A phone call you don't suspect. The reason I survived was not because I was brave in a loud way. I didn't fight Logan. I didn't scream in the living room. I listened to my instincts, and I acted quietly but clearly. I removed the danger. I protected evidence. I involved the right people. 3 hours after I sent the car to Grant, the truth began to take control because the plan broke. The cut brake line became evidence. The recordings became proof. The fear became a trail that led straight to the people behind it. Weeks later, I stood in a quiet courtroom and listened as facts were read out loud. Hearing it all laid out was painful, but it also brought clarity. No more guessing. No more confusion. When it was over, I did not feel happy. Revenge, the real kind, is not fireworks. It is not cheering. It is the heavy relief of knowing you are still alive, and the people who tried to harm you can no longer hide. I moved out of that house. I changed every password. I rebuilt my life slowly. Grant and I stayed in contact, not because we were friends, but because we both understood the same truth now: love does not excuse danger. The life lesson is simple, and it is not dramatic. It is real. When something feels wrong, listen. When someone shows you they can betray you, believe them. And when silence protects harm, courage has to sound like action. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is not shout. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is leave quietly, tell the truth, and let the truth take control.